Hey there, lovely people. Welcome to Be Your Best You with Tash and Becky, your go-to hangout for all things spiritual, subconscious, and downright magical. We're here to sprinkle a little mystical wisdom into your everyday life and help you level up your reality.
Picture this as your cosmic coffee date, where we chat about the unseen world, blend in some psychology vibes and stir up the subconscious magic. Get ready to be the queen of your own reality, live a life that lights you up and have a blast doing it.
So grab your latte or your tea and let's dive into another episode of Be Your Best You, where the mystical meets the mundane and your best life awaits.
Cheers to creating magic together.
Let's do this.
Hey guys, can we ask you a favour?
Can we ask, if you haven't already, please make sure that you're following us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts so you can get updated with all the latest episodes every week when they come out. You never know, it might just be the thing that you need to hear at that time. Also, don't forget you can watch us on YouTube, so make sure you head over there and subscribe to us there.
And share with all your friends.
Thanks, guys.
Hi, welcome back to another episode of Be Your Best You with Tash
And Becky. Just us today.
I feel like we always need to say that, though, don't we? It's just, you just have us two today. And today we're going to be talking about, let's just jump straight into it.
Straight in, girl.
We're talking people pleasing. We know you guys are all going to be people pleasers. Let's be honest.
100%.
We all are. Everyone listening to this, more than likely, is a people pleaser.
And we were two of the biggest people pleasers, weren't we?
Oh, yeah. And you know what?
Still are a
Exactly.
little bit,
It's
definitely.
still a working, I like to say I'm a recovering people pleaser. Because I think it's just with everything, there's always layers, isn't there? And like you can get, you know, I've cut out all the real hardcore people pleasing stuff, but it's like really insidious.
It is.
Yeah.
There's so much underlying deep stuff that you don't. It's easy to cut off the surface layer, isn't it? Like, you know, when we're saying yes to things we don't really want to be doing, but it's still there in everything that you do.
It is, and it's really interwoven in things. And this is the whole point with working with the subconscious, right? Isn't it? Like, we all know the general kind of people-pleasing traits, like you just said, saying yes when you mean no, not being able to speak up for yourself and your needs, not being able to set boundaries, which is very much linked with that. Just purely struggling to put yourself first over other people's feelings. You know, you feel like it's selfish to do that, feeling this sense of responsibility for everyone and everything and managing people's emotions and feelings, and your feelings go straight to the back of the queue behind the milkmans, the postmans, and the dog.
That is so true. Everyone's going, yep.
And so obviously that's the very obvious signs of people pleasing, and it's very broad, isn't it? But then it just gets into all these tiny areas of your life that you don't even recognise are stemming from people pleasing. And I think that's why, like when we say, you know, recovering people pleaser, that's why, because it's, you have to kind of live your life, you have to have these experiences, and then obviously when you've got the awareness of all these kind of main things, you can then start recognising it in those less obvious signs, like, you know, when with your business, or you know, just in everyday experiences with someone, a stranger. Strangers are really great ones to help you with, because you're like, I don't know this person, I've got no kind of like connection to them, why am I behaving this way, I don't even know who this person is, I'm never going to see him again, and yet I'm still doing that thing. And that's when you can start going, still people pleasing. So I suppose the reason we wanted to do this episode is because you all know what people pleasing is, right? We've just gone through those kind of main traits. It's such a big umbrella, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you all know the people pleasing traits. You all know and can identify yourself as a people pleaser. The question is, well, how do I stop it? Why am I like this? And they're linked, aren't they? Because when you know why you're like it, that's how it helps you to stop it.
Yeah.
And also, we want to share with you what life can look like when you do stop the people pleasing and how it changes all aspects of your life. So I think this is really important to say as well. I think people pleasing definitely comes, it's definitely, well, do I see this because I work with women more than men? Because obviously the people pleaser is my person, is the lady that I work with in the work that I do. But I do think there is an element of women have more effects of the people pleasing, right? Do you think that?
I agree with that.
Men are people pleasers and can be people pleasers, but I definitely think predominantly it's being a woman, you're more prone to being a people pleaser.
And programmed to put everybody else before yourself.
Exactly. So I think it's deeper. And then you want to start talking about past lives and all the kind of ancestral stuff where women have been persecuted in the past, like shut down, pushed down, made to feel less than, told that they made to be smaller because of their kind of powers, feminine powers that they've had. They've been persecuted for it. You've got all of that running behind as well. So it's not just about this everyday life. And I think that that's really important. And maybe this episode can really help expand. I mean, that's the hope, isn't it? That this episode will help expand your awareness of potentially where the people pleasing comes from. It's not necessarily everything that you think. And so there's the woman part of it. But I also think that it definitely comes hand in hand if you are a highly empathetic, sensitive person. And it's almost like the curse of being a sensitive, empathetic individual.
And especially when you don't realise that's what you are. Like once you realise you're an empath, things start to make a bit more sense. But we grow up, we don't necessarily understand that that's what we're doing.
Right.
And what that entails with you as a person, what you have to be mindful of. So once you understand that, you can sort of bring that through, can't you?
Yeah, and I think, again, that's the key to everything, isn't it? It's awareness, it's understanding, it's building this bigger picture and understanding of yourself, and not just yourself now, as in this life that you're living now, but also your past selves, your past ancestors, because your ancestors have contributed to your programming now in your how you are through your family line. So your ancestors absolutely are going to have because it's funny, isn't it? Because when you hear people talking about like psychic gifts and abilities and healing abilities, often you hear, oh yeah, my mum had it, my nan had it. Yeah, right, because it's coming down through the ancestral. So with those psychic gifts and abilities and sensitivities that's got handed down, you're also going to get handed down the other side of that, the programming, that's caused you to be the fear that's caused you to be where you are now. So the reason we're saying that is because when you can have that understanding, when you can at least, even if you don't necessarily believe that that's the case, or you don't know what you believe when it comes to past life and all the kind of stuff that you can't necessarily tangibly see and explain, at least if you can have an awareness of it, it helps you to understand your behaviour more and gives you a little bit more of a way to deal with it, to talk to yourself differently and therefore change it. So because all change starts with awareness, we've said that so many times. It's so true. Awareness is the first step. So obviously you're aware that you're a people pleaser, you're aware that you're doing all those things. So now it's like, why?
You just sort of think, well, that's just who I am.
No.
And there's something wrong with me, and I should enjoy doing these things that I'm saying yes to, and I don't. So I'll just do them anyway. It's the mask again. Put the mask on. I'll pretend I enjoy that because you look at everybody else, seem to be able to do it so easily, saying yes to everything and enjoying themselves. But it doesn't have to be like that, does it?
No, it doesn't.
I think so often as well, like when you're a people pleaser, you do tend to obviously attract maybe not necessarily the right friendship group around you because, like we said earlier, didn't we? Because you're not being authentic. So you've got your mask on, so you're not drawing in the right people. And once you let go of the people pleasing a little bit, people soon let you know who they are, and they drop away naturally and give room to call in people that do understand you, and you can go in with that intention then, can't you? And you get your bound. It's very hard to put in boundaries with people that you've been like that with your whole life.
Yeah.
That's so hard, isn't it?
Yeah. And, you know, this is the thing, isn't it? There's so many different factors that play into this whole people-pleasing umbrella. But maybe let's just zoom out for a second, because you know how I like to zoom out in perspective. And let's just look at it for what it is. Because like you just said there, such a good point. We just think that that's who we are.
Yeah.
I know I did. Like, that's who I am.
Yeah.
It's how I've been born into this world. Oh, rubbish. Just going to have to deal with it.
Yeah.
No, it's not who you are. It's absolutely not. People pleasing is a trauma response. A
Mm.
trauma response from your childhood in this life, trauma response from past lives, trauma response from ancestral wounds, trauma response from societal programming. It's all, it's not who you are. So let's take a really, really big step out and let's just get back to this main message, which is what I wake up every morning with my intention to try and get out there. That is, you are perfect. You came into this world a perfect, amazing, limitless, incredible, powerful creator being. And then you get programmed. You get programmed with all the trauma, blah, blah, blah. We've spoken about it a million times. Go back and listen to the other episodes if you want to remind yourself. And so what all people pleasing is a set of programs, a set of behaviours that you have picked up because of all this trauma, which has just covered who you truly are. And so what you always want to look at the people-pleasing behaviours as is not a part of you. You need to detach yourself from that identity of the people pleaser. Because when you can do that, when all of a sudden you aren't a people pleaser, but you have people pleasing tendencies, it becomes already easier to say, well, okay, then I can get rid of them.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden it's not linked to your identity. This is the problem. Like this, the programming creates what we think is our identity.
Yes.
And it's not your identity.
Yeah.
You can choose it to be if you want to, but the problem is you didn't choose it, right? Like you didn't choose that. That's the circumstances that you've landed in this life, the experiences that you've had. But you can absolutely choose your identity, what you want that to look like at any time. But what I'm coming to realize more and more is even that is a limitation. Because when I first started doing this, I was like, you know, for myself and for my clients, oh yeah, so you can be anything you want to be. You can choose to be this, you can choose to be that. You're still coming from a place of lack. You're still coming from a place of, oh, well, I'm not that, but I will be that if I try. No, you already are that.
Oh, yes, like that.
And that perspective reframe just makes everything so much more attainable. So you're not trying to not be a people pleaser. You're not trying to be a confident person or a person who speaks up for herself. You already are.
Love it.
So you just have to forget the things that have made you be a people pleaser. So I feel like I just wanted to say that before we then get into the stuff that we're going to get into, because now you're detached from that. That's not you. You just have to try and forget that, unlearn that, and know that underneath that, you are everything you want to be. You don't have to choose to be this or choose to be that. You're everything. And I just felt that like go into you.
Yeah, she's lighting me up over here.
So yeah. Oh god, now I've lost it. Like you distracted me with your like integration. Sorry guys. So back on track. If you're not deciding who you want to be, and you just are coming from a place of I am everything, I'm perfect, I'm whole, I'm limitless, I'm everything, that's when we shift back to the most important thing, which is what I am trying to help women do: be their true authentic self.
Yeah.
So we've spoken about masking. You said that earlier, didn't you? You start then like, you know, being with the wrong friendship groups, etc., etc. If you can be if you are everything, and it's not about choosing I want to be this, I want to be that, the easiest way then, because then you go, right, well then if I'm everything, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
How do I then go forward knowing what I am? This is where the importance of allowing your true authentic self comes through, because that is who you're supposed to be. That's who you've designed yourself to be in this life. Because as a soul, you're huge, right? You are everything. You are limitless. And you send a fractal of your soul down.
Yeah.
And you focused that fractal of your soul, which, if you want to look at it even bigger, is actually a fractal of source, God, the divine, however you want to call it, perfection, like just, right? So you kind of then focus that part of your soul down into Becky, right? And you chose to be born at the time you were born, at the place you were born, under the particular planetary cosmic alignments. You chose your family, you chose your circumstances. All of that choice led you to being who you are, who you're supposed to be, before the programming hits you. So that's really important, right? Because I also, this is where it gets like quite big, because I also believe you chose to put yourself in the place, the family, the parents that you have, the siblings that you have, in order to create the programming that's gonna help you to finally remember who you are.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Right? But all that goes to
Yeah.
show as well, still, is that you've always been in control.
Yeah.
Your soul has always known the plan. It always knows what it wants from you, right? So it's chosen this particular characteristic, this particular person of you. Let's take before you've come in, so before the programming.
Yeah.
That's your ultimate potential, and this is why I love human design. So go check our podcast out on human design if you haven't even watched it, because that's like such a great, honestly, isn't it?
It's amazing.
Perfect to describe. I mean, it's literally called human design because it's the design of you specifically, from the time that you were born, the place that you were born, where you landed, and your soul came into this earth. It's giving you a specific blueprint. And that's your pure potential. That's why I love that, because it can show you who you were truly put here to be. So going back to like, how do you create this identity? That there is your perfect identity. That's who you came into this world to be, with your gifts and your pure potential. So then your programming comes in, and then it messes with it.
Yeah.
But again, I think that it messes with it in the perfect way, in a way that you've decided to mess with it. So because we know that every single one of our experiences, our traumas, our life experiences, tough, bad, horrible, good, it's all built us to be the person that we are today. And we know those tough life experiences are our greatest teachers. Yeah. Anyone who's been through something really, really tough and come out the other side of it, because don't ask when you're in it, because you can't see it. But once you've come out, anyone will say to you, I learned so much from that. And I just think that was always the plan for you. Yeah. It was always the plan for you. And I truly think as well that you came into this life with the main goal of, one, having fun, learning, growing and expanding, but also to remember who you are, that perfectness of you. And you have to have these things happen to you, and these traumas and these people-pleasing behaviours that create your identity, to help you remember that's not me. Yeah. And now I know who I am. And it's just a case of unpicking it. So all that to kind of say, when you're thinking, well, who do I want to be then? What am I supposed to be? You don't have to know. No. You don't. Yes, you can acknowledge that, well, I would like to be able to speak up more confidently for myself. I'd like to be able to express my needs. I'd like to be able to put myself first. But when you're acknowledging that, know that is not something that you have to gain. That is something that you already have the ability to do. That is who you are. That is your true nature. To know that you are perfect is your true nature. You know that. When you cross over, listen to any NDEs, anyone who's had any kind of spiritual experience, they will say, I just realised in that moment that I am whole, I am perfect, I am loved, I'm worthy of everything. That you hear it over and over and over again. And I truly believe that we need to try and remember that. Yes. And so when you're doing that, you can acknowledge all those things, like I said, and you can want them, but you have to do it from a place of knowing that you already are that. And it's not you trying to learn how to do it or trying to gain it. It's learning how to forget that you weren't that in the first place.
Yeah, and allowing and embracing what comes through as you go through this process. Because again, it's like a journey, isn't it?
Yeah.
That you have to go on. And it's just allowing yourself to have these realizations and being honest with yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, and always reminding yourself of this, like, so everything we've just said there with that whole reframe, with the whole looking at it from that bigger zoomed out perspective. Now you want to come back in, so let's come back into your everyday life now. So how do you go about unlearning, remembering? How do you go about forgetting? And this is where we kind of wanted to like get a bit more specific with our experiences, because in my opinion, you know, the best way to do that, am I biased because it's what I do? Maybe, but everything that I read, everything I learn, everything I look at, it always comes back to this, going back to what happened to you in your childhood, in your early years where you are highly susceptible to the programming. It's going back, looking at that, because it stands to reason from everything I've just said, you came in perfect. You came in, you know, with pretty much a blank slate. But the best thing that you can do to remember how perfect you are is to go back to your childhood and look at what it is that happened to you to make you believe that you were anything other than good enough, worthy, perfect. Like, what taught you, so specifically with people pleasing, right? What taught you that you had to make yourself smaller, that you had to be a good girl, that you had to take on the responsibilities of other people's feelings and emotions to keep yourself safe? Because you have to think about it in terms of safety and survival. Because when we're children, that is what we are doing. That is what our programming is teaching us in those formative years. How do I get love? How do I stay protected and safe? What do I have to do to do that? And the thing with people pleasing, you know, obviously I've worked with hundreds of women who have come to me with some kind of people pleasing behaviours that they don't like, and there's loads of different reasons as to what's happened, specifically what's happened to them in their childhood. And this is where you have to kind of dig in specifically to your childhood. But if I can give you you know, some kind of guidelines, they are perfect. They're perfect examples of what can lead you to people pleasing. Were you a sensitive child when you were younger? Okay, always think in terms of safety, survival, love. And so depending on how your parents were at the time, and this is no blame or shame on parents, caregivers or anything. We're all only doing our best with what we can do. They've got their own programming, particularly for people of our generation. Our parents weren't as self-aware as we are as parents now. We won't be as self-aware as our children will be when they're parents. You know, that's how it's working, which is great. It's a brilliant thing. So you have to remember that it's not about blame. So push that aside, because I think a lot of people struggle to really look critically at their childhood because they don't want to put their parents in a bad light, because we love our, you know, for the most part, if you've got a good relationship with your parents, we love them, we don't want to put blame on them, but it's not about blame.
That's it. And that's where, like, you know, being honest with yourself, isn't it? Because you can have a great childhood and you can, like, I could sit here and say, I had a great childhood, lovely, loving mum and dads, brothers, you know, whatever, and you don't want to be critical. But once you understand actually that you are only responsible for your own emotions, then you give sort of like, you are more forgiving of the people around you, because they're not responsible for how you're going to take on a thought, feeling, emotion, are they?
No.
So only you are responsible for that, even at that young age, which sounds so harsh, doesn't it?
And there's a crossover because obviously we are learning, so our brains, our humanness, we're obviously wise souls in this like human body, and so our human body and the brain that we're obviously come to rely on once we get into this earth reality, it is dependent upon our caregivers. And so yes, we are obviously responsible, but we are still learning. And this is where it really, really helps to understand that. Push away your thoughts about your parents. It's not blame. Then get back to looking at you. What did you not receive? What needs weren't met for you? What did your parents do or not do to you that made you believe that you were not safe, that you were not good enough, that you were not worthy of love? So let me give you a quick example here, because remember, and I've said this before, our subconscious minds are very literal. Whether you're an adult or a child, our subconscious mind is very literal anyway. But as a child, because you haven't got that critical functioning switched on in your brain yet, you're just not developed enough yet, we're even more literal. So for example, let's just say that you have lovely mum and dad. You love your mum and dad, have a great childhood, love mum, right? But every parent has a bad day, right? So if you're say in those really, really kind of susceptible years, let's just say you're 3, 4, mum's had a really bad day, she's in a grouchy mood, you have had something happen, let's just say you fell over and hurt yourself. For you as a 3-year-old, that is it's a huge thing to happen. You've fallen over, hit yourself. In that moment, you need love, care, and attention, right? You go tell mummy, you cry to mummy. Mummy's had a really shitty day at work. She's having an argument with your dad. And in that moment, she wasn't fully available for you. So maybe she was like, oh, you'll be all right, just wipe your knee off, you know, and off she goes. She's done nothing wrong. But to that 3-year-old you've gone, mummy doesn't, I needed love, I needed care and attention, mummy didn't give it to me, it's because I'm not worthy of it. I'm a bad person, I'm not worthy of love, I don't deserve love. Bam. At 3 years old, you've just put on a pair of glasses with a belief that says, I am not worthy of love. And then guess what? You wear that for the rest of your life. And because you've got those glasses on, that is how you see your world. So every time something, kind of like that, which is really inert, there's nothing behind it, but every time something like that happens, that solidifies your belief that you are not worthy of love. Until you get to an adult and you've developed all of these behaviours and thoughts, which leads to your people pleasing, because now you don't believe you're worthy of love, right? So now what does your subconscious do? It does everything it thinks it can to try and earn love from people, which means you overgive. You say yes when you mean no, because you just think, well, if I just do this, then they will love me. You're over generous, so you give more of your time, or you give loads of presents to your friends, or you just overgive in terms of you take responsibility for everybody else, you try and fix all of their problems, all because at 3 years old you fell over, your mum wasn't quite there for you, and you made that mean that you are not worthy of love. That's just one
and it
example.
doesn't actually matter, does it, how many times after that incident that mother was there for you? No, that's what a minefield it is to be a parent, isn't it? Because you could spend the rest of your life then trying to make up for, oh god, I dropped the ball there, and it makes no difference, because that belief is in there, like you say, in that 3-year-old's mind, and then everything will revolve around that and snowball into the big old mess that we then find ourselves when we're an adult. It's crazy, isn't it?
It's crazy. And we could do a series of podcasts on to break down, maybe we should, to break down all the different reasons behind each set of people-pleasing behaviours, because there's so much to it. There really is. That's just one example. There's loads. You could take the not being able to speak up for yourself kind of thing. Again, take it if you're trying to, because what we're doing here is we're trying to get you to look back to your childhood, to take off the rose-coloured glasses of my childhood was perfect, my mum and dad were lovely, yes we know, but let's just look a little bit deeper now at this. So you have trouble speaking up for yourself, for speaking up for your needs. You know, have a look when you were a little girl. Did you used to say, no, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to wear that dress. And your mum would go, no, you are wearing that dress. Put it on. We've got to go.
Yeah.
Stifling your voice. It seems so silly and so simple, but that is what happens. And obviously these aren't just one-off events. Chances are there is a pattern here because your mum or your dad or your caregiver, whoever's, you know, raising you, they've got their own programming. So they've got their own way of seeing the world.
Yeah.
And they'll be, you know, some parents go, oh, okay, you don't want to wear that, you wear whatever you want.
Yeah.
Other parents, if they've got issues with control, which is always coming from fear, so control is not a bad thing, it's just fear. We've done an episode on that, haven't we, as well? But if that's one of their things, that's an easy way to satisfy their fear, isn't it, by controlling their children? So chances are they're going to stop you every time you speak up for your needs. They're going to shut you down and say, no, come on, just do this. We've got to go. We're in a rush. Yeah. I was guilty of that.
Oh, God, me too.
You know, we all do it. But, again, that leads to you thinking, when I speak up for myself, I get shut down. And it's like that learned helplessness. Yeah. So then you just think, the more you do it, and every time you get shut down, the more you learn there's no point in me speaking up for my needs because I'm not heard. Yeah. And then that spirals on. Yeah. Then you have a belief of I'm not heard. So then you'll find yourself as an adult in situations maybe at work or in a relationship where you feel like you're speaking and you're saying stuff, but no one's hearing you. And it's actually not necessarily that they're not hearing you, but because you've got that belief, you can't see otherwise. And then that belief starts skewing your behaviours to make it fit. Yes. So then you will start doing things that, you know, so like you think that you're speaking up and you're expressing yourself, but actually you're not. You're not communicating actually what you really need. You think you are, and then you get frustrated at the person, at your husband or your boss at work or your colleague, because you're like, why aren't they listening to me? But actually, because you've got that belief of I'm not heard, your subconscious is specifically going to be sabotaging yourself to make that belief true, because that's what we're always trying to do. Our subconscious mind is just always trying to prove our beliefs to be true, and this is where you get in that self-sabotaging pattern. Yeah.
And with the not speaking up thing, like, I'm not exactly sure where mine came from, but what I do know is that when I didn't speak up and I was quiet, I was praised. So it was just then reinforced that, to be a good girl and for people to like you, she was such a good girl, we didn't even know she was there. Oh, okay. Yeah, so not speaking equals people like me, people want to be around me. I was never a problem. I didn't have an opinion. Even then with friends, because your interaction revolves around what they want and what they think, and you're not going to disagree with that person. So of course they're going to like the girl that does everything they want them to do, you know, and then you're just reinforce that is the way to be. Oh my gosh.
And it's a minefield.
It really
there's
is.
So many variations of where this can come from. And that was me as well. And this is why I said at the beginning, people pleasing is tied to the sensitive beings, empathetic beings, and the good girls, like this good girl programming. There's such a link there because and like we were saying, the societal programming for women, just in general, women, you know, we're programmed to be good little girls. You know, you don't often hear people going, "Oh, a good boy, you're sat down there doing your colouring." It's like, no, so like, true. Oh, well done, they're out playing football, kick, rough and tumble.
That's so true.
We're doing it without even realising. And you know, like, this is where we wanna ruffle that up, don't we? And we're like, come on, women, like, you don't have to be good girls. The time is over for good girls. It's just about, and it's not like being a rebel and
and who says what is good, a good girl? It's when you realise that what is good and what is bad. Who are we to say?
And that comes back perfectly to then what I was saying. Like, what is it? What should I be? Who is my identity? What is my identity? Because I don't want to be a good girl, but I don't want to be this kind of crazy rebel. Be your unique self. That is what it always comes back down to. And then you go, how do I do that?
I know.
It's a journey. It's a process. And the thing is, remember, it comes back to this. She's already there.
Yeah.
You don't have to find her.
No.
You don't have to create her. You don't have to go out looking for her. She is there already. So all you have to do is uncover these old things that have just covered her up. It makes it so much more easy and attainable. And I just kind of want to say, and obviously, you know, we just explained to you the best way to do that is go back to your childhood and start picking it apart like that. Now, obviously, it would be wrong for me to not say this. You can absolutely do this on your own, but this is where hypnotherapy and, you know, modalities like this, which are in some way trying to harness your subconscious mind, are really invaluable. Because, you know, you can try and consciously think back all you like, and you get loads. You will, and you must do it, and it's really helpful. But you get to a point where you're like, I just don't know. I don't consciously know anymore.
That's right.
And that's where the hypnotherapy and the hypnosis comes in, because we can access memories that you weren't even consciously aware of, or you are consciously aware of them, but because of the way that we're working, the way we're doing it, you're looking at it from a different perspective. I was just saying this to a client yesterday, actually. Just recently, the number of people that I've had where we've done the regression sessions and we've gone back to their childhood events, the number of people that have said to me, wow, I can't believe that one's come up, because that is a memory I have. I often think about, I often talk about it, and I laugh and joke about it. We all have a laugh, like all our family, we all have a laugh about it. And actually, when they're in there, they're crying their eyes out. They're terrified, they're traumatized, they're upset by this memory that they've been joking about. And this is the power of of doing the hypnosis and the inner child work, all this healing work, because our subconscious minds are always trying to protect us. And so what they've done is they've taken that really traumatic memory and event, and it's switched it into something funny so that they can try and, you know, move forward and survive. But that is a perfect example of something that is covering up your true self. Feel that, experience that, understand it, let it go, and you're one step closer to uncovering who you truly are underneath. And that is my absolute, like I said, it's why I wake up in the morning. It's why I wake up every morning. It's my intention for myself to remember who I truly am, and to help other people remember who they truly are, because I know what they are underneath all of that. I know, and I believe it, and I think that's what I've said this before, is I can hold that energy for people. They feel it from me, because you guys can't feel it for yourself.
We don't believe it. No,
but I do, and you feel that from me.
You do, and then you believe it.
So all that to say, you know, like, whatever you resonate with, whatever kind of therapy or method you resonate with, I would really say, once you've done as much work as you can do digging back into your past, and don't just think about it, do meditations, journal it out, like loads of different, you know, things that you can do to go a bit further than just trying to think up here, because it's not up here. You need to feel it.
You do.
And also, don't stop at this life. Like we said before at the beginning, there's past life stuff, there's ancestral stuff. And yes, okay, it's not tangible. You don't have conscious memories of what happened. But start diving into, like, feeling into, like, especially meditation is a great way of doing it. Channel into that kind of persecution feeling. You know, think of all of the women that were burned at the stake for being healers, because you guys, I can guarantee you, all listening, you were healers, some kind of healer in a past life, because I just think that that's what your soul is here to do. It's got a bit of a theme, and now I think is a time where all the healers have come in at this particular point in time for this shift. But you don't have to consciously have the memories. Just connect into that energy of the persecuted women, of the women who were, and it doesn't even have to be about the healing, of the women who were suppressed by men, you know, not even that long ago, a few centuries ago, where, well, it's less than that, you know, women didn't have a vote. Like, we had to marry, we were both basically bartered off by our families, by our fathers, weren't we, to the highest bidder, the person with the most credentials. And, like, you know, given away.
Yeah.
We didn't have choice. We didn't have our own life. Like that right there, talk about, you know, not being able to speak up for yourself. How many generations, how many lives have you experienced where you had no voice, where you really couldn't speak up for yourself? Now's the time where you can. You're safe to speak up. And this is another thing that you can do to help yourself. I am safe. I am safe to use my voice now. I'm safe to speak up. You weren't in previous lifetimes. Do some healing around that. Cut away, send love to those women. Send them strength, send them courage, send them power. Bring them into you, because they had gifts, they had abilities that they were persecuted for. Use them. Pull them into this life now. So you can do that to help you with the people pleasing. And it sounds like, I wonder how many of you have ever thought about that for people, helping you people pleasing. Probably not many, but it all helps. And just like, lastly, we could just talk about this forever, like, really, couldn't we? We need to like do separate ones of like boundaries, speaking up for yourself, like we will. But the last overall thing I want to say to kind of leave people to go away thinking is, the most important thing that I see when I'm working with women who have these people-pleasing tendencies is what it eventually ends up being at some point in your life. And everybody gets to it, I suppose, at different age. But I'm seeing it around the 40-year mark, give or take.
Yeah.
And what it ends up being is them just going, who am I?
Yeah.
I don't know who I am.
Totally lost.
So lost, like, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I want. I don't, like, you know, I'm saying yes to things, and I'm bending to everybody's, you know, decisions and opinions, and I don't have any of my own, but I actually don't know what they are. So where do I even go from that? And this is what happens when you become that chronic people pleaser, when you spent your whole life bending over to fit to everybody else, putting everybody else's feelings, needs, desires before your own. You, every time you're doing that, you're losing yourself. You're losing that connection to yourself. So you do get to this point where you just have no idea what you want. Even if you did start speaking up for yourself and you did start expressing your desires, you don't know what they are.
No.
And that's where you get stuck in this, when you're trying to stop the people pleasing. It's really hard to stop it and do a different behaviour if you actually don't know what that is that you want anyway. So again, to help you with breaking these people-pleasing behaviours and remembering who you are, which is limitless, it's everything, it's like perfection. To do that, you have to start helping yourself to find out who you are. And the best way to do that is question, follow your joy, follow your energy, get back in touch with your intuition. Everything's linked, everything's connected, but you have to get back, you have to start questioning first, what do I want? I mean, that was, do you remember when we said, what does Becky want? Like, that was where we started, wasn't it? Like, when everything, you didn't know what you wanted.
No.
I mean, I did, I've done it as well. Like, I didn't know what I wanted. No. So in every moment, I actually stopped, took a breath, and said, before I answered, before I said yes, because that's what I was saying, wasn't it? I was like, what do I want? Oh wow, that's interesting. I've never thought. And then that stop gives you enough time to go, do you know what? I actually really don't want to do that. But sometimes you surprise yourself and you think, oh no, I do. Actually, because either way, before you do that, the water's muddied. You're just saying yes anyway. You're not thinking about it. So actually, even, and I found this to be true for myself, even when I actually did want to do these things, I'd kind of tarred it with this thing of, like, I don't want to do it, and then I was resentful for it, and I didn't enjoy it, and I was just a grumpy guts. And actually, when I looked, I was like, I always did want to do that, but I just, it was all tarred with that kind of resentment.
It's your go-to response is just to say yes.
Exactly.
And then you don't ever think about if you want it or if you don't. So even if you do want it, like you say, it's marred by this, you know, thought pattern of, oh, I'll just do things to please other people and I'm not going to enjoy them.
And I'm such a martyr. Exactly. You set yourself, it's that programming to set yourself up for, I'm not going to enjoy it, when actually all along you would. And this is how you create your own suffering, your own misery, but it's also how you can create your own happiness and joy without actually anything really changing in your external world. It's just your inner perception of it. So again, going back to then, what do you do to stop this people-pleasing behaviour? Question, what do I want?
Yeah.
Stop, take a breath, question.
Feel it.
Feel it. Follow your energy, follow your joy. As much as you can, because we all go, oh, what's your language? You know, I have to do this or I have to do that.
Yeah.
But do you have to? Do you have to? Yes, there are some things that you have to do.
Yeah.
But be careful, because again, like we said with that last example, you know, you just kind of tar everything with the same brush. You can also tar this stuff with the same, I have to.
Yeah.
Question yourself, do I have to? And
Yeah.
if you don't have to, then ask yourself, well, what do I want to do? And be surprised, because you've never asked yourself the question, or very rarely.
No.
So then, if you don't ask yourself the question, you're never going to know the answer to it, right? So now all of a sudden, if you're asking, what do I want to do? You might be surprised by what pops in and goes, oh, I want to go sit out in the garden.
Yeah.
I want to do some painting. I want to clear out my wardrobe. Inside joke there, guys. You really need to do that. So, yeah, questions. Ask yourself questions. That's the best thing that you can do to get started to break this, to figuring out who you are. It's what interests you, what brings you joy.
Yeah.
And as you start doing that, you'll find that you start uncovering and noticing certain gifts and abilities that you have. Because when you're in your joy, they're usually tied with your gifts and your purpose here, with what you came to do. Because this is another thing, and I'm going to stop talking now, but it just goes out. We're so programmed to believe that life is hard, life has to be a struggle. But actually, I don't believe that it ever was supposed to be. I believe that we came here to experience joy, and part of our programming and all this trauma, and you know, is that's been beaten out of us, and we've forgotten that. But actually, we've come here to experience joy, and our joy is tied with our purpose, because I also believe that we've come here to help one another, to share our gifts, to be connected. So when you start following your joy and you start doing what lights you up, you're gonna start realizing, oh, I like doing this. Oh, I like helping people. I like creating things. I like designing things. You know, the list is endless. But your joy will be linked to your purpose and to your gifts, and that is a huge opener to then start realizing who you truly are. And then again, like the more you do that, it's like a snowball effect, isn't it? It all builds up on that, and then all of a sudden you're open to allowing more things to come in, and that will be reflected back to you. So then people will start saying to you, oh, you're so good at that, or oh, I just love it when you do that. Because when you are in your joy, you're like this big light, this big magnetic light. And the more that you can live in your joy and your purpose and embrace your true uniqueness, because that's who you are and who you're meant to be, the more you'll start magnetizing situations, experiences, people to you, which then makes you, like, firms up that belief that that's what you're good at, that it's okay to follow your joy, that good things actually happen when you follow your joy, and then you're able to do it more. And it's just like, oh, it's amazing.
Yeah. And I think a big thing for me as well was allowing people to drop away and not being afraid to let go of things. And in fact, you don't have to do it, because the universe will do it for you. So don't be afraid of that, because I think that can put you off from changing your, you know, like moving your boundaries, for example, because you don't actually have to make those decisions. They'll make them for you, and they'll just disappear. So don't let that. And then something better fills that space. So please don't be afraid of who you're going to lose, because all the right ones will stay.
Yes, that's so true. That is so true. And I think that you highlighted another point there, which is that we are all scared subconsciously of our true power, of our greatness. Because, well, if I change, if I'm my true self, if I start expanding, and because, like we said before, we've been taught to dim and make ourselves smaller. If I start expanding, who am I going to lose? What am I going to lose? Because, you know, I've been this way because that's how I've learned to be worthy of love, like we spoke about earlier. So then, yes, exactly that. If we start embracing our true power and our greatness, that's scary for our subconscious, because it's like, oh, what's going to happen?
Yeah, it certainly put me off. you know, changing, moving boundaries and trying not to be a people pleaser. So it's a whole journey, isn't it?
Massive.
But yeah, I just want to say that, like, just don't be afraid of who you're going to lose, because you don't actually, because the worst thing is for us as people pleasers is like confrontation, isn't it? And having to say to someone, oh, I don't want you in my energy anymore. And it isn't like that, is it?
No.
It just, the universe will take, it's almost your reward for finding your joy, because then things will just simply just fall away and you won't even have to do anything.
Yeah.
And then that is when you can fill it up with more good stuff. And it's just don't let that put you off and hold you back from doing that.
Yeah, because it's scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
But like you said, it just becomes choiceless, because it's, again, it comes down to frequency.
Yeah.
When you start resonating as your true self and vibrating at a frequency that is your true self, those people that have surrounded you, not all, because you'd be surprised, lots of people are like, oh,
very surprised, because people love you.
Exactly. And no matter what, almost waiting, you know, maybe they could see it in you.
Yeah.
And you weren't showing it.
No.
But now you are. They're going to be like, your relationship will be closer. I know I've had that with quite a few people. But then, yes, there will be some people where they'll just be like, you'll be on such different vibrations that you physically can't exist in the same reality anymore. And it won't be anything crazy or weird, or like you said, you won't have to make a choice and say, like, no, I don't want to be your friend anymore, because, you know, things will happen where you will just naturally drift away. Okay, sometimes you might have to say, this isn't working for me. And that's okay too. But when you're working on speaking up for yourself, that's not going to be it's going to be choiceless. So it's not to say that it won't be hard and difficult to do and push you out of your comfort zone, but you will get to a point when you do this work where you don't have a choice but to say it. It would feel it's too much energy to not say it anymore. And I've also had that where I've actually just thought, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I have to say it, because it just feels wrong to not say it anymore. It feels totally inauthentic to not say it.
That's right.
And it's always been received really quite well.
Yeah.
But also, because of the work that I've done, I'm at a point where I'm okay with it not being received well. Because again, that shows where I've done the work. Like, whereas before I thought, well, I have to please people to be worthy of their love. Now I'm like, I don't have to do anything for anyone. I'm still not fully there yet, but in that respect, on that level, I am like, no, I'm worthy as I am. And the most important thing to me is to hold that and to know that. And so if you don't like it, that's your problem.
And you're not responsible for them.
Responsible for it.
And what they think of you.
It just gives you absolute freedom.
Yeah.
It's so freeing to start dropping off these people pleasing tendencies. And like we said, like, to wrap it all up, it's a journey.
Yeah.
And there's so many things involved, and I don't believe that it ends really, you know. Or maybe it does. I don't want to I don't like saying it, because I don't like putting limitations on things. Maybe we could achieve it, but it's okay if we don't.
Yeah.
And there's always deeper levels to unravel. And that's okay, and that's great, and that's exciting, because you hit another level and you're like, oh yeah, just done that one as well.
Yeah.
So I think hopefully in this episode we've given you a little bit to think about, maybe a bigger perspective. Definitely some ways where you can start maybe trying to figure out where these behaviours came from in your childhood, and how to look not just in this life but past lives and ancestral, etc. And also, and I think this is the most important message to come out of this, is that you are not a people pleaser. You are perfect. You are limitless. You are everything you want to be. You just need to remember.
Got chills.
Right, guys, it's been a pleasure as always.
Thanks, everyone.
I'll see you later.
Bye.